Hello everyone, so welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for spending some of your day here with me. Today we're talking about my current beauty favorites. There's so many new products coming out and I wanted to take a moment to sort of pull back from all the new stuff and really just share with you some of my current favorite products that I've had for some time. There is, I will say, two products that are fairly new to my collection that have really just honestly have blown me away, and I had to include them because I've been using them every single day. So we're gonna jump this off with primers. I have been recently rediscovering my love for the Rare Beauty Pore Diffusing Primer. This is a small size. I purchased this product when I was pregnant with my son, who by the time this video goes up will have already celebrated his first birthday, which I just can't even get into it without crying and getting emotional. But I used that primer when I was pregnant with him and my skin just looked like porcelain, smooth, just incredible. And I thought I'd revisit that and see if it's the primer or maybe if it's just the products that I was using at the time. But I really do think it's the primer because I'm using it every single day and my skin is like smooth, flawless. My pores are completely gone. And the foundations that I've been using on top of this have been just looking even better than they do already. And it's the primer. It absolutely is this primer and I love it. So when I finish this travel size, I am going to buy it in full size because now I know this primer truly is very smooth, blurring, and it does diffuse the pores. So I love that. Now another product that I use somewhat of like a priming step is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I have been using this a lot and I wear the shade Fair, which is shade number 1. And I really love how this product gives me a lot of glow. It's very similar to the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury, which is my favorite brand. It's one of my top 5 products from that brand. Love it. This is very, very similar. The glow on this is a little bit more intense than the Charlotte Tilbury for me personally. But I have been using this as a primer to give myself a glow underneath my foundation. But I also have been mixing it into my foundation as well on a more consistent basis. Before, I would kind of dabble into mixing it into my foundation and here and there trying that sort of more radiant look out and using my foundations and mixing them, and I really like it, but I wasn't doing it very consistent every day. And I find myself doing that a lot these days. And I did a video how you can use something like this into your foundation to give a more radiant, luminous finish to a foundation that you already use and love daily. And I have been using this a lot since that video posted and I love it. And I also like it as a highlighter. And also on those no makeup days, maybe like on a weekend or something that I'm not doing much around the house and I don't want to wear makeup, I will pull this out and apply it and it looks really pretty and glowy. The next product is the Merit Complexion Stick. This actually is very surprising for me because I don't have a lot of stick foundations in my collection. And this one in the shade Linen is a perfect match for me right now. It is incredibly easy to apply. You scribble this on and it blends within seconds and it just smooths out the skin and it makes my skin look like skin. This stick, I recently shared a demo on this and it really is so incredibly easy. I did a video on the solo shadows from Merit and I did a quick demo of how I use this. So if you want to see that, the cards in this section here will take you to that video so you can see how quick and easy this is. But it truly is foolproof. You scribble this on and I blend it out with my brush, which my current favorite brush is the 101 from BK Beauty. I blend this in literally seconds, or I will use my double-ended brush from IT Cosmetics. This brush, the 101, is perfect for foundation and for the stick. And the other thing that I wanted to mention about this stick is that it is very creamy and it's just smooth like butter on the skin. I've used other stick foundations in the past and that's probably why I don't really have a ton of them in my collection because generally from my experience they've been kind of dry and they almost kind of tug and they're harder to blend and spread across the larger surfaces of my face. It's not a big deal like on the nose because you use so minimal there anyways, but larger areas I find that I'm tugging and pulling too much of my skin, and that is one of the things I noticed right away with the Merit Complexion Stick is that it's like butter, smooth. The concealer that has been one of my very favorites, it's the High Glam Concealer from Natasha Denona. I have the shade called P1, which is the peach tone, and it is just so, so good. I bought this fairly after the release of it, and I honestly have been wearing it a lot. I love that sort of pointed doe foot applicator that just deposits the right amount of product. Whatever's on the applicator, once I take this out, it's enough for me to do both eyes, and I get a good full coverage with it. It looks smooth and it blends well. It's not dry. It doesn't accentuate any weird fine lines or any wrinkles that I may have, or just it doesn't look bad once I put powder. I always set my under eye area, and this looks incredibly flawless under the eyes, and I absolutely love this formula so much. I feel like she did something very, very special there with that. But the other concealer that I'm going to kind of sneak in, which is one of those products that I mentioned before, I have two of them that sort of snuck their way into this because ever since I got this in the mail and I did my demo on it, I've been using it every single day. And it's the Makeup by Mario concealer. That's what I'm wearing today, and I absolutely love it. I wear shade 140, and this is the Surrealskin Awakening Concealer. I did a demo video comparing this to the new Haus Labs concealer that came out recently, and this was my favorite out of the two. And you guys that left comments seemed to really like the Mario as well, and you thought that that was the best looking one for my under eye area. So I agree completely. It's flawless, it's smooth. So in that video, I used a brush, and it was the BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A506 brush, which is an angled concealer brush. It's a really, really good brush, by the way. But I used that to blend out the concealer, and it gave me full coverage, and it was beautiful. Now, I've been using my actual damp beauty sponge to blend this out. And I kid you not, I still have the full coverage. Beauty sponges tend to eat up some product, and so you don't get the full-on, full coverage look sometimes. For at least for the ones that I have in my collection, they tend to kind of not be quite as full as using a brush or your finger to blend them out. But this concealer remains full coverage under the eye, even with the beauty sponge. So that is why I have to share this with you in this video, because I was just blown away. I couldn't believe it. I was not expecting to have full coverage, but I used my sponge today and I blended this out. This sponge is from e.l.f. and it works beautifully for concealer, and I love it. And I also use this with the sponge as well. I don't typically use brushes, so when I could use the Mario and retain that sort of intensity with the coverage using a sponge, it's a winner for me. I love it, and it looks beautiful. The face palettes, I have really truly enjoyed face palettes over the years. This one in particular is the Lovegasm face palette from Tilbury. I really do hope that this is still available for purchase, but the whole point that I'm trying to get at is I'm really loving the setup of face palettes. So this one is the one that I'm using today. I use some of the bronzer, I use the highlighter, and then I mix both of these blushes to give me that sort of kind of burnt cranberry, glowy kind of warmth to the cheeks, and there's a little bit of like a cranberry tone here, like a reddish color. This one's a little bit more peach, so I just kind of blended the two, and that's what I'm wearing today. And I hope it's coming off on camera with the pigment that I see in person in the mirror, because I did a very dark eye and a dark lip, and these two shades, I really do think, especially this one here that's more red and kind of like a cranberry shade, is perfect for fall, and I'm feeling the fall vibes today. But I love the formula of Charlotte Tilbury products. It's no secret that I love her brand and her products, but the face palettes, I feel like it's been able to streamline my process of getting ready. So I've been using this a lot. My Hourglass palettes, which by the way, I did order the new Hourglass holiday palette. I don't know if that video is going to be up before this one. If it is, then you may have already seen that. If not, it'll be linked in the cards here. All right, so the next product that I have been really loving, and we're moving into sort of like the eye category. I have to include this in this video because ever since I did the video on it, I can't stop wearing it. Today I forced myself to use my ABH Cosmos palette because it kind of took the back burner, because I've been using the I Need a Nude palette from Natasha Denona every single day. I love this. I celebrated my birthday over Labor Day weekend, and this is the palette that I wore on my birthday dinner celebration because I love this so much. This palette truly is me to a T. It is just absolutely perfection. I did a video just on this palette, and it is so beautiful, you guys. I love it. I've used every single shade in this palette, and I have nothing negative to say. The quality is 10 out of 10, A+, which I already knew because her formula is spectacular. The amount of things that you can do with this one palette is endless. This is the perfect everyday palette. It is described as a cool tone palette, but to be honest with you, yes, there are some cool tones in here. There are a few shades that can kind of be a little neutrally, but you do have two shades, the Wit and Vague in this palette, that are the peachy tones to bring in that warmth if you like it. And I honestly use those shades a lot when I'm doing looks. I can't help but want to incorporate those kind of peachy vibes in the crease or the upper crease to kind of create like a border around whatever I've applied to the crease. And it just looks beautiful. So I have to include it because I've been using it a lot. I can't stop using that, and it's an incredible palette. My last eye product that I'm gonna share with you is my eyeliner. This is the NYX Epic Ink Liquid Liner in the brown shade. I bought this to try out the brown liner look. Didn't think much of it, didn't think I was gonna care for it as much, but let me tell you, this is the liquid liner that I've been wearing every single day. This is just a beautiful brown shade. It is creamy. It glides on so smoothly. The pigment is there and it doesn't tug. I can go over the line to fix it, to thicken it. If I do have where it's a little bit kind of bumpy on one side because maybe, you know, I'm not with a steady hand, I can go back and fix that. And it doesn't lift off or flake off whatever's been applied. I can take my time with it and not feel like I have to rush before it sets completely and I'm just kind of stuck with it. There is such an ease of use with this pen. It flows so well, the inky formula from this brush tip applicator, and it just is so easy to get that line, and it almost always looks even and smooth every time. I rarely have to go back and fix my line with this, which is another like whoa for me. So the last products are lip products. I'm gonna start with what I'm wearing today. It's the ABH Deep Taupe Lip Liner. I have two of these lip liners. I have a rose shade and then Deep Taupe, and I absolutely love the formula. It's your typical classic old school wooden sharpened pencil, and the formula is perfection. There is an intense amount of pigment, but it just glides so smoothly. You would think that a pencil that's kind of wooden like this would be a bit more dry, kind of something that kind of tugs, that pulls at your lips, but no, they've nailed the formula of this. And yes, I'm late on this because these have been out for a few years probably at this point, but this is the lip liner that I'm wearing today, and it is just absolutely perfect for that deep brown kind of fall vibes. I also do use this with other lipsticks, but today I'll share with you the lipstick that I'm wearing. It's from Hourglass, and it's the Unlocked lipstick in the shade Oasis, which I think is the perfect shade to go along with this lip liner. So that is Oasis there. It's kind of like a nude with some depth to it. It's kind of like a rose with a little bit of brown to it. And I will swatch the lip liner so you can see that. And these lipsticks, I love the packaging, but you have to kind of get the cap on right. And I love the bunny. I'm a sucker for bunnies. So then here's the Deep Taupe. So I will show you here, hopefully on camera here, how easy it is to just get that line to just glide on, and it's so smooth. So those are the two that I'm wearing today. It wouldn't be a favorites video if I didn't include my Peekaboo Neutral Lip Liner from NYX Cosmetics. I used this same lip liner, not the same one, but the same color 10 years ago. It was one of my go-tos, and I hadn't used it since then. I totally forgot about it. I just kind of got lost in all the other things that I have in my collection, and then I suddenly decided that I wanted to incorporate more drugstore products and do more drugstore related videos, and I decided to pick this up when I bought some products. And this lip liner, I kid you not, you can't even, there's no point to it. I have to sharpen it. Like, I use this so much, and I will swatch if I can. I will try to swatch it here. There's barely any coming off. It's the perfect everyday lip color. And I honestly will say, this shade reminds me a lot of the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner, which is my favorite, hands down. That's my #1 lip liner. If I had to only have one, it would be the Pillow Talk from Charlotte. This is very, very comparable to that. In fact, it's very similar. You may not even be able to tell too much of a difference. And it's like, what, $3-4? And it works just as well. Last lip products, I have to give a shout out to the Juicy Lip Plumps, the Maracujá Juicy Lip Plumps from Tarte. I absolutely adore this formula. I love the pigmentation that these have, the intense gloss and shine. It's like no other. The thickness, it feels, okay. Have you ever been looking at a recipe and it says to have softened butter, and you put your butter stick or two, whatever, on the counter and it gets nice and soft. Imagine taking that and just taking that softened stick of butter and just swiping it across your lips. It's that buttery, I don't know why that's what I thought of when I started wearing these, but that's exactly what it feels like. It's like thick butter, smooth. This is probably not making you want to buy this. I get it. I'm sorry. Okay, let's start over. The formula is thick and it goes on very smoothly. There's a thickness to it where it feels very cushiony on the lips. It fills in the lines so it looks like my lips are completely smooth. The shine is just absolutely incredible. I love the glossiness of this lip color and this formula. I have Cherry Blossom and Mixed Berries. I love it. So this is Cherry Blossom and then this is Mixed Berries. But you kind of click at the bottom and it comes up just the right amount of product to cover your entire lip, top and bottom lips. So I don't feel like you have to click this so many times. Yeah, you'll go through it if you use it every day quickly because there's not a lot of product to begin with in here, but one click is sufficient to do your entire lip look for the day. And the formula has a bit of a kind of cooling sensation. It almost feels very minty. That is it. Those are all the products that I have been currently reaching for pretty regularly. And I find myself plugging these into my routine every single day. Something in this video always makes it on my face every day. Multiple products. I just love these products so much. And I honestly hope that if you try some of these out, that they work for you just as well as they do for me. Share your favorites too. Let's talk about it. Let's chat in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. You are the absolute best, and I really do enjoy hearing from you guys, and I try to respond as quickly as I can to your comments. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. If you watched the video entirely, thank you for doing that, for being here, for supporting my channel, for watching. It means more than you'll ever know. The description box down below is going to have everything listed for you, and I will also list all the makeup products that I'm wearing in case you're curious about the products that I'm using today. But I appreciate you so much for being here. Take care, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.